to me the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you.
Hey guys, welcome to the Oracle of Lilith. My name is Amy, and today I'm doing a pick-a-card all about your villainous past life. Now, in this pick-a-card, we're going to find out all about what happened, what did you go through, and the experiences you had, and how they affect you in this life today. What lessons, what wisdom, and what gifts do you bring forward? If this is your first time to my channel, hi, hello, how are you? It's really good to have you. I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel and becoming a member of my tribe. If you're a returning subscriber, hey guys, what is up? How are you? It's always good to connect with your energy, and I truly appreciate you guys being here. Now, this video is actually a subscriber request. I do subscriber requested videos. What I do is I keep a list, and when Lilith or my guides, all of them or a few of them, however it works, but Lilith is always in on this, okay? So if Lilith says go, we go, all right? So then I do them. So Lilith was, yes, let's do this one. This one has a lot of potential to help people. So we often, many of us readers, we often talk about past lives, but we always seem to focus on the positive ones, right? And you know, we all have been good people in our past life, but we often don't talk about the problematic past lives. So that's what we're going to do today. We've all been the bad guy. All right. We've all been that dude that we really didn't want to be. Okay. And there were lessons there. And so I think this is a great reading, and I appreciate you guys' suggestions. Like I said, I keep a list. So if any of you have suggestions for a past life reading or any kind of reading, drop it below and I'll put it on my list. And when the time comes and everything's a go, I will do it for you. All right. So now keep in mind, this is a general reading. It's a general session. So just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I do offer personal and private readings, but right now they're closed. But if you're curious, you can check out my website. I have a page that lists all my personal readings, and you can also request to be put on my waiting list. My email is on that page as well. So when I start reading again, my wait list will get first dibs on my slot. So I have a bit of a pre-shuffle here. So we have a pick a pile situation. And also I'm using the Disney Villains, Adorables, little figurines as psychic linking objects as well. I will pull more cards as I need to for clarity. In fact, I will be pulling from the Akashic Tarot, which I really love to use in past life readings and Akashic readings. They just have great energy and a lot of really expansive insight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you your psychic linking object, your little adorable, and so you guys can get a better feel of each group. So we're going to start with group one. Okay, group one, you are Ursula, the Sea Witch, and this is the back of the card. Group two, you are the Maleficent adorable in the form of a dragon. And this is the back of your card. Group three, you are Oogie Boogie, and this is the back of your card. Okay guys, so those are going to be the three groups you have to pick from. I will include a little video with some music for you guys who need a little bit more time to see which group you're drawn to. If you're drawn to more than one group, there's probably more than one message here for you. And with that said, I'll see you beautiful, magical creatures on the other side. Bye guys.
Get a little bit of trouble, K-N-I-F-E a deafening fear.
You gon' die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble, K-N-I-F-E, right in your side, you would never see me coming. You gon' die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble, K-N-I-F-E, right in your side, you would never see me
My
coming.
energy is next level, so damn you better be careful. I got an angel and devil, he snaps me straight in the temple. I'm ready to be a rebel, I've got a lot of potential hidden inside of this vessel. That shit is so exponential. I need a first class ticket to the top, no limit. I don't play no gimmicks, I'ma take you to the clinic. If you want a taste, come at me and you will be replaced. They won't find a trace of you anywhere or any place.
You gon' die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble, K-N-I-F-E, right in your side, you would never see me coming. You gon' die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble, K-N-I-F-E, right in your side, you would never see me coming.
Hey, Group 1, all of you that selected Ursula, the Sea Witch from The Little Mermaid. This is going to be your reading all about your villainous past life and the lessons learned, the gifts, and the wisdom gained that you can bring forward to this life and any issues you're having in connection with that life. Now, I have a huge pile of cards here for you guys. I also have more cards I can pull for clarity. I probably will be pulling from the Akashic Tarot as well. Keep in mind, this is a general reading, so just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So let's get into it and see what came out for you. Okay, the first card we have is Root Connection. And this is the Angel card. This is from the Angelarium deck. So connection. Put that right here. We have Storyteller. Let's get this one. We have No Drama Llama. Find your inner peace. We have Today for Tomorrow. We have Atonement. Okay, let's get these cards. We have Communal Living. This is a past life deck. We have Father. We have Phobias. And we have Trust and Faith. Okay. Got a certain kind of vibe here, you guys. We have Inner Child. The Past, Past Lives, Past Loves, Ancestors. Rise above the situation. We have Higher Power, God is Calling, Connection to Spirit. We have Retreat, Relax, RIP. Okay, so before I look at the tarot, I just want to say this is what I'm feeling. If it doesn't resonate, then pick another group, okay? It feels like you, as a child or a young person, it feels feminine, okay? I feel a lot of feminine energy here. We're forced into like a convent or some kind of cloistered living situation. Now, a convent could be in any religious or social situation, because I'm feeling like it is across different cultures. Okay, so I'm seeing like in Asian cultures, I'm seeing tribal cultures, I'm seeing, of course, European cultures as well. I do feel like this was something that was forced upon your family. Not really forced, I don't want to use that word. It was a choice made by your father. At this time, in this culture, father had a lot of power, okay? And there was position. Let's look at the tarot. There was position in this family, okay? There was position. We have the Page of Swords. We have the Empress. Yes, there was position in this family. The Ten of Wands, the Seven of Swords, the Six of Swords, and the High Priestess here. So there was position in this family. And what I feel like is there was position, but there was lack of money. There was lack of sponsorship. For some of you guys, this is a merchant family. For others, this is like, I'm hearing like a provider of products or like spices. I'm also seeing musical instruments. I'm seeing dyes as well, like different dyes. So it is a merchant or a seller of very high quality, I want to use the term higher class products, okay, that mostly service the higher echelon, okay? And there was some kind of situation within this family that caused there to be money concerns. And this seems like there's a couple of different stories here. So take what resonates. It feels like in one of these scenarios, we have a merchant family or possibly a court family of lower court status. Okay, so I'm feeling like a duchess, a count, something like that. That kind of family, that level of family, who did have a name. They had land, but their finances were drained. So the father figure made a choice for the daughters to go into a convent or a cloistered living situation, a religious institution, something like that. And in some way, there was favor gained. There was some kind of favor gained by doing this, okay? Be it opportunity brought to the family. If this was a merchant family, okay, I'm feeling that what happened is that and this may be something that happened in every generation, like every family picked one of their this feels very much a female, feminine energy was donated, okay, to a convent or some kind of religious living situation where they were forced to dedicate their life to a spirituality or a social construct of some kind, and that assured them opportunity to do business, okay? And here's how I feel about this. I feel like you were not too happy about this. Not happy at all, okay? Because really, you weren't and the reason why you were chosen is because they were having a hard time with you. You were not like the other brothers and sisters. And in the Duchess count, whatever level, I feel like it's not upper royalty. This is lower royalty, like a lower. You were chosen, but I feel like you went in with a bunch of other like cousins, sisters, and things. You were going to go irregardless, but you were a problem child. Some of you guys were problems because you were connected to spirit, okay? You were psychic, you were spooky, okay? And they just really wanted that energy away, okay? And some of you were kind of wild. You wanted your freedom. And this seems to be an energy that could be in either family, okay? You did not want to go into this situation. So when you went into this convent situation, you did a lot of stuff, okay? Whatever this was, however this works for you, I think you were very manipulative. I think you got to a point where you were like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run this bitch. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the shit show that I've been given in this life, and I'm going to run this bitch. I'm going to own it. I'm going to become the high priestess and the empress, and I'm going to be respected. I'm going to run this bitch. And that's exactly what you did. And you did it through manipulation, okay? I think you cut a lot of people off. I think people were very intimidated by you. We have atonement. You did not have any doubts about cutting people off. You were like, bitch, you're in my way. You are not of use to me. Whatever it is, we're going to put you in isolation. I'm seeing all sorts of punishments, and it's like you used these punishments to control and to get where you needed to be. Now, in order for you to get where you needed to be, you betrayed people the closest to you. Okay? All right? You betrayed a lot of people. And there was a lot of lies told. And you were just like, fuck it. This is what I've been given. And I'm not going to be the bitch sitting in my room. It's cold. I get fed this gruel and this fucking bread. You know, some of you guys were real bitter about that shit because you're like, I was made for a better life than this. And you saw how we'll call it Reverend Mother, okay, lived. And you were like, you know what? I'm going to live like that bitch. If I have to do this, if I have to do this shit, I'm going to be the queen of it. I'm going to rule this place. And you ruled it with an iron hammer. Okay, you did. And people were scared of you. There's damage here. Like, there's damaged people here. And the power was very much like an aphrodisiac. Okay, now I do think that the vows in this communal living situation, this convent, whatever calls to you, even a tribal system, I feel like the rules, you always felt they really didn't apply to you. You figured out if you made it look like you were living up to the rules, that's all that mattered. Okay? Because number one, you resented being there. You didn't want to fucking be there. And you resented being behind these gated walls, locked away from the world. You wanted to eat the world. You wanted to consume life. You had a very big energy and you were forced to shrink into this place. And it was tough. And so you just decided, I'm going to rule this bitch. And you made power moves. And I feel like you took someone out that was very close to the feminine head person. You took them out. You literally took this bitch out. Some of you guys flat out outed this, like literally. I see someone being pushed down an obulette. Obulette? Is that how you say it, an obulette? It's one of those, it's like a forgetting place, a place of forgetting where you kind of like stick prisoners and there's usually spikes, obulette. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but there's usually like spears at the bottom and you push them and they get stuck on the spears and you forget about it. You forget about them. So I feel like if you weren't pushed into one of the, not you, if you didn't push somebody into an obulette, you pushed someone into a place where they were forgotten. And they weren't found. And by the time they were found, they couldn't really figure out who they were. So it didn't matter anymore. It just didn't matter. Because I'm the head bitch in charge. So what you did was you took out the person closest, the trusted, whatever their name is, the trusted person next to this Reverend Mother energy, okay? And you were like, yeah, I got this bitch right where I want them. And you manipulated this energy. You became the daughter figure. You became someone very close to this person, and you did it with power of persuasion. You did it by using your sweetness and your kindness. You weaponized your love and adoration. I feel like you made this person feel like they could trust you, and it was all a ruse. It was all a manipulation, because as soon as you could, you took that bitch out too. Okay. And I feel like specifically with this woman, with this feminine energy, I feel like they were poisoned because you figured it out. There's a garden. I'm seeing a garden. And I feel like earlier in this scenario, when you were lower, I think you worked in herbalism and you chose that. You chose herbalism. You chose to learn herbs because that way you knew exactly what to give this bitch to kill them, to unalive them, okay? And you knew that nobody would catch on. You knew what you were doing. And I feel like you made a lot of power moves. You did some good things for this group. You started new ways of bringing in money for this group. I'm seeing like a growing business based on this herbalism, making like tinctures and salves and things like that, and also bread. So I feel like some of you guys in this merchant family, it's like it's in your blood to do this kind of stuff. Now, for you guys that are in the royal family, I think that you wanted to show your family that you could make something of yourself. You could take your royal blood and apply it to anything and make it grow. Okay. Now, I want to say for those of you who resonate with the royal situation, I want to say your family became extremely proud of yourself, proud of you and proud of themselves for what happened. Like a lot of pride was born in this. It made a lot of opportunities happen for your family. And what happened is that the manufacturing, the creative, whatever this group was creating became heavily monetized and corrupted. Okay. There was a lot of corruption that happened. And it was connected through your family. All right. And I feel like the ones that, where there's bread and the merchant family, I feel like there was a lot more light there, even though I feel like there was a lot of discipline and ruling by like violence. Like the feminine figures that were under you were terrified of you. And that's why they did the things they did. And a lot of you guys were in places where there were vows of silence. So there were long periods of time where no one spoke. So no one talked about, the abuse. And you stayed in that position for so long that no one dared, approach you about it. And it seems like when you got to the point where it was time to pass on this situation, you chose a certain person and you groomed them to be exactly like you. And it's like this particular order had a reputation for being very disciplinarian and highly productive. And the bigger institutions that were connected to this group began to depend on it for finances, for money. So it's almost like they found a system or method that worked to make money. So they just continued it for a long, long time. And I feel like for the most part, like personally, there was a lot of feelings of being alone. And your satisfaction came from making the money. Okay, that's where your fulfillment came from. And you started to get fulfillment from the cruelty. You got the fulfillment from the power. I don't feel like there was a lot of love interest, okay? Because I feel like you did not want anyone to take your power from you. You worked too hard to get there. I do feel that there was a priest or a masculine figure that you did have contact with at one time. And for some of you, there may have been a pregnancy or something that did not come to fruition. And there was herbalism involved in that as well. Just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So let's go ahead and pull from the Akashic Tarot. So from this lifetime, what did you learn from this lifetime? I feel like this isolating energy that you had throughout your life, this focus on, I feel like you focused on the power because you felt like it was all you had. I feel like you lived a very small life, but you were in control of that small life. Like you grabbed it and you took control of it because it's all you had and you knew it was all you were going to have. So you made the most of it and you were not going to let any bitch, run your life. You had a big personality and you knew you were meant for big things. A lot of you guys were highly connected too. So, and I feel like for some of you, that connection actually made you a little bit more ruthless. It's like you felt the power of it. This is a lifetime where you were really connected to your power. It's like you fed your shadow. You fed the power, you fed the ego, because you were made to feel so small by your family, like you didn't matter. And you showed them that you did. And it led to good things for your family. Okay, we have the Queen of Keys. We have the angel, Archangel Raphael. We have the King of Scrolls. And we have the Master Artisan. Okay, so what I'm feeling here, we have phobias, and this card's been popping out at me. And I feel like you may have some fear of like social situations. You may have fear of people, or you may have anxieties of being in small places or being around a large amount of people. You may be one of those people that silence isn't calming to you. Silence is unnerving. You also may have some feelings about like religious institutions, to the point where, you know, it's not just like I could take it or leave it. It's more like you have a strong reaction to them. Yeah, it feels very, I'm also seeing spiders and things like that, because you were in a place that they practice a kind of like stoicism, a kind of like, what is the word I'm looking for? Minimalism. So they didn't have a lot of things, right? There wasn't a lot of creature comforts. So many of you guys went from, even though there wasn't a lot of money, you had creature comforts, to like sleeping on the floor, on like stone floors, and going through rituals and different kinds of processes to come into this group living situation that were traumatic. And I feel like some of you guys had run-ins with like crawling creatures or something, like spiders and bugs and things like that. I do think that some of you guys learned, some of you guys practice some kind of magic undercover as well. Like that won't be for all of you, but like that was part of the herbalism. Like you learned about the power of the herbs, and you were able to, through some of the library and through this father, this will not resonate for all of you, okay? But you were able to learn some of the more obscure, what I would call obscure at the time, uses for herbs, because you were able to have intelligent conversations, unlike some of the others, because you were educated, okay? So yeah, I feel like there may be some phobias of like spiders, crawly things, and mice. You may not, or rats. It may not be a phobia, but you may have like also a hyperfixation, or you may be into like taxidermy or things like that. You may be into herbalism, right? Okay. I do feel like there's a lot of healing from this lifetime, because I feel like you learn that power alone does not bring you happiness. And even though you can be in control, and you can rule with an iron hand and absolutely know how everything is going to unfold, it can leave you very empty. It can leave you in a very shallow place where you are not fulfilled, because in the end, I feel this energy was not fulfilled. And they didn't really experience like true love or the depth of love. This lifetime was spent experiencing the thrill of power, of creating power and regulating power. And I feel like this energy got drunk on the power a little bit. It got out of, not a little bit, a lot. It got out of control. And I feel like in this lifetime, you're learning about balance. You're learning about the balance of power and how to use it in ways that are fulfilling. I also think you may have issues about letting people into your life. and it's like, it feels like a subconscious fear, because I feel that you messed over so many people in this lifetime. Like, you just did it left and right without even thinking, because you did not really form bonds with people. It's almost like you had sociopathic tendencies in this lifetime. And a lot of people who get to the top from the bottom do. You just slit everyone's throat. You were heartless. You were cruel in this life. And because of that, it may make you a little nervous that someone's going to do that to you. Someone's going to stab you in the back. You can't trust people. And in this lifetime, you're learning how to trust people. I feel like in this lifetime, you are a good person, and you want depth, you value depth. And it's almost like you have this energy in your life where, you can't go deep with people. You can't talk about shallow things if you can't talk about deep things. It's almost like, I don't want to say it's like a curse, but it's like an energetic alignment where you're set up to have to almost have deep relationships with people. It's as if you decided when you entered this lifetime that you were like, I want to conquer my issues with interpersonal relationships. I want to experience deep, meaningful relationships. And in order to do that, I kind of have to set up my personality as one that I can't really talk about the weather unless I can go deep with someone. It really is learning to trust yourself with people, and knowing that people aren't going to hurt you intentionally, and you're not going to hurt people intentionally. It's about learning to trust yourself and to trust other people. And I feel like right now we have the Master Artisan, we have the Queen of Keys, and I just want to show you how she's looking out. See how she's looking out upon her kingdom. You have the King of Scrolls. He's holding, it feels like in this reading, it feels like he's holding plans. It's like you're making plans for your kingdom. You're making plans for your manifestation in this lifetime. You're thinking about it. It's not something you're willing to just do in a cutthroat way anymore. You want to create something that is helpful and meaningful, and you don't want to have to hurt people to make it happen. You want to do it in a compassionate way, a healing way. You really want to help people in this lifetime. I feel like you are carefully sculpting this lifetime. You are more careful. You're more deliberate. And because of that, you're healing this. You're understanding why this happened. I also feel like in this lifetime, you don't put up with any bullshit. No drama. You're not about the drama. You're not about causing drama. You're not about controlling drama. I think you have this energy of atonement, as if you're trying to balance out some of the karma from this lifetime. And I feel like you meet people from this lifetime. They come into your life, and often you're given the opportunity to help them in some kind of way, to help them pivot. I feel like you meet them at the crossroads a lot of times, and they may see you as a teacher or a guide or something like that, but it's like you're there, you show up for like a course correction to help them find their way a little bit, and it's your way of evening out the karma. You use your abilities because you have these psychic abilities. I feel like in this villainous lifetime, you didn't really access them in positive ways. In this lifetime, you're using them to help heal yourself and heal other people. And a lot of people from your different villainous lifetimes, because we've had more than one, this is just one, okay, are coming to you, and you are helping to heal them. Because in this lifetime, you have the Empress energy. In this lifetime, again, you have the High Priestess energy, okay? But now you're leaning into the Ten of Wands, where there's major accomplishment. There is accomplishment of goals and dreams. There's healing energy. We're no longer leaning into the Seven of Swords. We're leaning into the Six of Swords, where we're moving on. We're accepting our flaws and our errors and our mistakes and our failures, and we're moving on to a place of healing. I feel like many of you are very connected to your ancestors and passed on loved ones. I think you're very connected in this life to a higher power. I think you try very hard to rise above situations because you know the drama that it can create. You also know that you have the ability to manipulate situations. You are keenly aware of how easy it is to manipulate people, and you choose not to use your abilities to do that anymore. You choose to rise above it. And that's one reason why you stay away from drama, is because you don't want to manipulate people anymore. You don't have that desire anymore. Okay, tell me more about the energy of my group 1 with this past life. I feel like because you are working through this karma, because you are coming back as more of a healer this time, as a more of a healing energy, I feel like there's a good flow for you that's coming. You're manifesting the treasure and the Akashic field. Yes, I feel like you're very much working in your Akashic field, the field of manifestation, the field of possibility. There's a lot of green energy here, healing energy. I also feel like you may be drawn to herbalism, or you may grow plants, or you may be drawn to plants, or there may be something about trees with you, but I'm seeing like a lot of green, lush energy with you. Replenishment, okay? And there is a treasure you're seeking in this lifetime, okay? Tell me about this treasure. Tell me about this treasure. Okay, we have the Ark of the Covenant. There's your treasure. Okay, the Ark of the Covenant. And I feel like this Ark of the Covenant is very unique and very special. It's just for you. Okay. You know what? I'm going to pull from, let's do the tarot. Okay. Tell me about this Ark of the Covenant. I want to know more about the Ark of the Covenant for this Empress. This is the Empress's, High Priestess's Ark of the Covenant that's manifesting, because you're doing this healing work, okay? Because you're healing and you're not leaning into the abilities that you have, because you have an ability to turn people. Literally, like to turn the course of conversations, to turn the course of people's energy, and you choose to act in positive ways. You understand your power now, and you use it for good. You don't use it necessarily for selfish means anymore. You use it to help people, okay? And because of that, there is a treasure coming that is like the Ark of the Covenant. It's sacred. It's divinely guided for you. We have justice. Yeah, this is your karma evening out. This is a good thing. This is positive. We have the Two of Wands. Okay. Something is coming together for group 1 because of this work. Tell me about it. Tell me about this Ark of the Covenant. We want to know. We have the Two of Swords. Okay, so 22. 22 is a master number. Okay, it's about building foundations, the Ark of the Covenant. So I feel like you're building a big foundation that's very positive, okay, and will help people. If you guys have been guided to do any kind of like big work, like create a business, to do writing or art or be online or whatever, you should do that, okay? You should definitely do that, okay? Because there's something, the Ark of the Covenant is big. Okay, it has a history all its own. It has a lore all its own. Okay, it has a mythos. Okay, and we have the wheel. So I feel with this, there's a sense here of self-reflection. So there's been a lot of self-reflection in this lifetime, or there will be. Okay, a lot of self-reflection on how you can use what you've been given to help other people, and help yourself become better human beings and more healed and more clear. And I feel like you concentrating on helping others brings you in this positive justice, this positive karma begins to flow and turn the wheel in your favor. And the Two of Wands, I feel something coming together. There's some kind of inspiration, idea. There's something you want to do or you are working on. And I feel like you might be at a pause with it, but it's very much connected to the Ark of the Covenant. It's very much connected to this treasure that is unfolding for the Empress, the High Priestess energy. It's creative. We have the Chariot. There's going to be motion in this Ark of the Covenant energy. So this is something you're manifesting, okay? This is something something that is meant for you, all right? And the reason why you may not have seen this blossom yet is because you had to come into balance and understand your power. You are extremely powerful. No joke, honey. You are extremely powerful. I need you to walk into that. You are extremely powerful. Okay, and the universe needs you to own that power and understand that you have used this ability in a past life, several past lives, to play the villain. Okay, sometimes we play the villain for other people and also for ourselves, so we learn more about ourselves. We learn about our shadow. We learn about our abilities and how they can be used in the negative. Okay, and now we're in this lifetime and we're learning about using them for the positive, and we're leaning into our positive past lives to pull those energies forward. But to really understand the power of these abilities that you have to understand that you did use them for negative and you took control. You took control and you made shit happen. So if you can do that in the negative, think about what you can do in the positive. So if you don't think this shit isn't going to manifest, you need to reconsider. You need to ponder. You need to reflect, okay, if you resonate with this. Because you can absolutely manifest this positive thing that you're working on, okay? Because the universe is about to take off. They're about to open up the Ark of the Covenant for you. Okay, all this beautiful energy is going to flow for you because you've balanced out this power issue that you have. Okay, tell me more. I want to know a little bit more about this chariot. I want to know a little bit more about this manifestation. Okay, we have the Hanged Man. I think you've had a pause in this. And we have the Four of Coins. Yeah, I feel like this is in money. This is in an area where you have felt stagnant. Okay, there hasn't been a lot of movement. Now, for some of you, it may be a relationship. This may be the love that you didn't get in this lifetime, that lifetime where you were a villain. Okay, it may be that interpersonal connection that you didn't get. For others, it could be your money. Your money's going to get better. Your resources are going to get better. And for some of you, it's both. That's the arc. You get it all. You get all those things unpacked for you with beautiful bows. Like the arc opens, and I see all these different presents coming out, and they have beautiful wrapping paper and beautiful bows, and within those boxes are equally beautiful gifts. Okay, and you're being trusted with those gifts because you understand the magnitude of your power. Okay. All right, group one, that's what I got for you. I hope this resonated. If it did, please let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'd love to have you as a member of my tribe. And if you'd like to see more readings like this one, give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you beautiful, magical creatures next time. Bye, guys. Hey, group two, all of you that selected Maleficent, this is your reading all about your villainous past life and what you learned, what wisdom you can bring forward, and all that good stuff. So keep in mind, this is a general reading. It's a general session. So just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. All right. I will be pulling more cards as I need to for clarity, and I will probably be pulling from the Akashic Tarot as well. So let's get into it and find about your villainous past life. We have Angel of the Sky. All right, we have Masquerade. Let me find, these are my past life cards. Let's pull from these. We have Finances. We have Health. We have Food and Hunger. We have Karmic Relationship. Okay. What else we have here? We have Saboteur. And we have Child Orphan. We have Manifest the Arse out of life, out of it, dream big. Okay. And we have Vanishing, Disappearance, Ghosted. We have Communication Breakthrough, Peace, an end to drama and disagreements. A social media fast is needed. We also have Friendship, a strong bond is coming your way. Okay, so before I get into the tarot, let's kind of look at what we have here. So I'm feeling a past life where you were an orphan. If you weren't an orphan, it was like you were. Okay, I'm feeling a hungry child. Um, and you may have had health problems when you were younger, but it wasn't enough to kind of like um, put you down. Okay, so just take what resonates there. But I feel like the hunger could have caused health problems, but it didn't make you differently abled, if that makes sense. Or okay, what it did do is it gave you a fire in your belly that you would never be hungry again. I feel this is a feminine energy. Okay, the one thing you had going for you is that you were indeed beautiful. Okay, with masquerade here, I'm feeling a beautiful energy. With sky here, I'm feeling beauty, blessed with grace, even as a child. I feel like your beauty as a child led to you being victimized. Okay, I'm not going to get into that, but I feel like it led to you being taken advantage of. Okay, many times. I feel like if you weren't an orphan, you were in such a dire situation as a child that you didn't have a lot of adult supervision. Okay, and I feel different time periods. I feel some of you guys ran the streets. 1600s, 1800s is what I'm feeling, 1700s. So between 16 and 1800s. I know that's like 200 years, but there we go. I'm feeling England. Okay, I'm seeing barefoot children. I'm seeing barefoot children running through trash and sewage in the streets. I'm also seeing children on dirt roads. I'm seeing children on dirt roads, barefoot, with beads around their waists. And I feel like this is in the beautiful continent of Africa. Okay. I'm also seeing children in on an island around Asia. It feels hot. I feel like the heat is overwhelming at times. I feel it's very humid. And I feel that you adapted to this, of course, very well. But as I'm not, I feel it as intense as I'm sitting here and I'm connecting with it. I feel like there's intense heat. It's like a sauna. And I feel like there was a lot of foraging for food. However, the area was colonized. This could be in an area on the coast of India. Okay. I'm also feeling this energy up in the area of Sweden, Switzerland as well. And with that, I'm seeing children like out in the snow. Groups of children, like an orphanage of children. Okay. Now I'm moving across the continent. I'm moving across the globe, Earth, and I'm seeing now children along the coast of South America. And I'm seeing these children, and the time is changing. I'm seeing a beautiful face. This child has a haircut in bangs, and beautiful blue eyes, and they are dirty. And they're wearing clothes that are too small for them, and they are orphans, and they're living on the streets. And I'm seeing the area of Chile, also Bolivia, but I'm also seeing coast area, and I'm seeing a group of children, like a group of children who are surviving together. And this also could be a family who is surviving like in a cave system on the coast. And I feel like this is in the 1900s, and this is like 1920 to 1940. And it feels like it's on the coast of South America. Okay. And that's what I'm getting. Okay. Those are the areas. If that resonates for you, then that's what we have. Okay. I feel like you have the soul of a survivor. All right, you've been through a lot in that lifetime and in this lifetime. The difference is in that lifetime, you were determined to never be hungry again. And we cannot judge. I want to be very careful. We cannot judge people who are starving. When you are starving, you will do anything for a meal. Okay. And I got to tell you, we have to have compassion for people who are hungry. Okay. Especially when they have hungry children. I feel like if you did have parents around, they were often out chasing food for their kids. Some of you had parents who were children themselves. So it's a very difficult situation. So you were beautiful, though, and you realized this very young that you could attract people. And a lot of you used that ability to keep yourself fed, and there's absolutely no shame in that. And my soul weeps for the fact that you felt you had to do different things to keep yourself fed. But I understand the fighting spirit and the survival spirit. I think you lost a lot of friends. I think very few of the people you knew on the street or in the orphanages survived. I think you had a lot of family or half brothers, half sisters, half siblings who didn't make it. And so what I feel happened here is that you were able to meet someone of means. Okay, you were able to, through prostitution, you were able to kind of get yourself together physically. Okay, you were able to get yourself well fed. You met with someone. You met with somebody. Let me look at these cards. Let's go ahead and go through. We have the Fool here. There's your mark. We have the Queen of Coins here. We have the Nine of Cups here. We have the Five of Cups. Yeah, the Five of Cups here. And we have the Ace of Wands. Okay. And I feel like you met up with someone who saw the potential in you. Okay. And they were kind of able to help you, show you the ropes and get yourself together. All right. But you were able to get yourself well fed. You were able to get yourself to be appearance to be healthy, appearance to be of upper class, and you were able to infiltrate a place where wealthy people hung out. Okay. And there is your mark. Okay. You picked a certain person, it feels masculine, that had a lot of money and was desperate for love. I don't feel like they were appealing physically. I feel like they are the ones that had serious health problems or deformities. There was something about them that was off-putting, but you didn't care because in your mind, you were like, this is my mark. This is my meal ticket, literally. I am never going to go hungry again. With Saboteur, you were like, I'm never going to go hungry again. I'm never going to go hungry again. And you did not care who judged you. All you cared about was that this masculine energy, this dude was sprung for you. And as long as you could keep him sprung for you, maybe you could marry this person. And then you're in like Flynn. Okay? So I feel like you took control of the situation, this person. And this person was successful. And I feel like you got into a position of power with this person, with the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like they gave you the world. They gave this queen the world. Okay. For many of you, they gave you access to your own money. They gave you access to your own accounts, which I'm hearing in some of these situations was unheard of. Okay. And it caused issues in their family because their family was like, oh, that's a gold digger. And the thing is, I feel like you never really, when they said, oh, they're a gold digger, you never denied it because you were like, if I deny this too much, they're going to know. So it's in my best interest to act like I don't even hear what they're saying. I can't even comprehend the idea that they would think I would be gold digging. Of course I love this person. Why would I marry this person who has this thing about them that's kind of revolting? Why would I marry them if I didn't care for them? And you didn't care for them. And that's what made the relationship so powerful for you. And so financially rewarding. Now, I think you stayed married to them, I'm hearing like 10 years. 10 years. At the end of 10 years, suddenly their health took a turn. And there were rumors about you possibly causing their parents. His parents may have been talking about how now this came out in reverse, okay, but how you caused things to go poorly for them. possibly their health. You're sabotaging their health. You're sabotaging their son. I think it took about 10 years for this man to sign over his wealth to you upon his death. Okay. I think you worked on this person's nerves. I think you worked on their blood pressure. I think you, with the Five of Cups here, I'm feeling, with all these cups, I'm feeling like there may have been a drinking problem that you encouraged. I think you encouraged this person to self-destruct. And I do think at some point you began to sabotage this person in a very, we have the Eight of Wands here. It came out in reverse as well. I think you began to lay on the pressure on this person so they would self-destruct, and you kind of let them. I feel like this person told you that they were at the end of their rope. They couldn't take it anymore. And I feel like you could have stepped in and gotten them help, but you chose not to. Okay, it's almost like you just let this person kind of disappear, kind of vanish. All right. Now, for some of you, I see them sitting in a room. It's almost like they became a recluse, and you took power. You took over, and you started making decisions. Of course, this caused disruption in the family. It caused disruption in the life. I do not think you ever had children with this person because you never really had any kind of real sex with this person. I think you had roundabout, if you know what I'm saying. You had roundabout kind of connections, but you never let that person like impregnate you because you did not want to have any children. Okay. Now, some of you couldn't have children because of the abuse you suffered or from this health issue, from malnutrition. But you did not want to have because you were repulsed by them. Okay. But you wanted that money. You wanted the security. And listen, I know this is a villain situation and, you know, you look like the bad guy, but I understand where you're coming from. When you have been hungry and gone without all of your life as a child and you've seen your friends die of starvation, when you're eating like dirt and bugs to survive, when you're begging and doing unimaginable things to survive, it fires up the survival instinct, and you will do anything to not feel that again. And it's very hard for anyone to judge a soul in that situation. Okay. So you're a survivor. I do feel like, when this person, I feel like there's one of two things. So take what resonates here. I feel like for some of you, they became a recluse. And once the papers were signed over, it's like they lived in their room for like many years. They kind of got dementia and you didn't really have to deal with them much. You got a nurse. And for others, they didn't make it. Okay, so take what resonates here. There was no children here, and I'm not hearing that you had this lifetime like the first group. There was no real focus on love here. There was focus on survival. Like, I'm going to survive. Now, what I'm going to tell you that you did do in this lifetime where you were the bad guy is you took some of this cash, some of this money, and you took care of orphans. Okay? I know it's a villainous life here, but you weren't all horrible. Okay, you took this money and you took care of street children. You were the kind of person that you always stopped on the street and gave out money to street children. Always, 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 always. And that bothered people in this person's family. They thought it was shady. They judged you for it, and you didn't care. Okay, let's get some cards from the Cashapp Tarot. Let's find out what we're bringing forward. Tell me what we're bringing forward to this life from this past life here. All right, let's get a few cards. Tell me where we're at with this. I feel like in many ways, the hunger you had in this past life, you have now. It's different though. We have the Archangel Michael. We have the chess game. I'm not going to read the reversal. We have two worlds, and we have we have winged messengers. Okay, so there's Archangel Michael. We have the chess game. We have two worlds, and we have the winged messengers. Okay, and what I'm feeling is that there's a hunger here. For some of you, it's manifesting as trigger warning, an ED situation. Okay, issues with food. Okay, for some of you guys, it's manifesting as issues with vitality. Okay. For some of you guys, there's a hunger for connection, for human interaction that can't be fulfilled. You're having a hard time fulfilling it. All right. Because there's an inner healing that's going on for you in this lifetime that's helping to, it's almost like these past life wounds are being ripped open in this lifetime to be healed, because in that past life, the drive to survive was so strong that healing was not possible in this lifetime. You had just seen too much suffering, too much misery. There had been too much hunger and death. And listen, that can happen. You can see so much suffering and so much death that you just can't heal from it. And it's going to take another lifetime. It's going to take something else that you don't have access to in that lifetime. And that's this lifetime. Okay. I feel like you probably have a hard time connecting to people, just in general. Now, group 1 had this social anxiety thing. And I don't necessarily feel overwhelming social anxiety. I feel a lack of being able to connect deeply with others. It's almost like you reach out with depth to people and you get hit in the face with shallowness or rejection. There's a lot of rejecting energy here. And I feel like it's because you're reaching out for depth, but you haven't examined your own depth, or you're going through a self-examination of your own depth. And part of examining your own depth is this hunger that you have, this insatiable hunger that you have. That is, I feel voided. I feel like there's a huge void in my heart chakra and my solar plexus. I also feel like my root chakra is shattered. So I feel like your childhood was probably very tough. You probably touched on hunger in some form. Some of you guys have gone hungry as children, or you have experienced extreme poverty or extreme lack. You may have health issues in this lifetime as well that you've had to overcome. Pain and misery have probably been something you've dealt with on a consistent basis. And it's hard to really get to the space where you can look at the underlying issues because you're dealing with this other stuff, right? And the universe, your guides, your spirit guides, really want you in this lifetime to focus on the deeper issues. They want you to find out why you have the issues you have. They want you to explore it so you can be healed. Because those fulfilling relationships, the fulfilling job, the time of plenty. I'm seeing a cornucopia full of vegetables and fruit and gold and sweets and delicious things for you to enjoy. It's almost like there is a bodysuit on you and you are not able to connect with the deliciousness of life because you are in such lack. You're numb to the world. You're numb to the good. And because this past life was all about survival. You got all the pleasures in that lifetime. You eventually had all the food. You had all the beautiful things. You had power, but you didn't have fulfillment. You always were wanting more and more and more in that lifetime. You wanted to experience having more. And I'm seeing an old woman who has a huge cake in front of her and there's boxes piled up. So I feel like in this life, you may have some issues with hoarding. You may have issues with food, like I mentioned before. You may have issues of wanting only the best will do. And if I can't have the best, then I don't want anything at all. you may have unrealistic expectations for relationships. And the universe, your guides want you to look at where that's coming from. It's almost like you are sabotaging yourself and not allowing yourself to experience the good things in life in a grounded way. They're always outside your realm of experience because you have such a high expectation for what they should taste like, be like, or experience. And I feel like your guides want you to bring this down. They want you to bring this down and heal this inner child. Heal this hungry child. Heal. Listen, hold space for her pain, for his pain, for their pain, okay? And honor your vessel. If you do not feel good, get yourself to a doctor, okay? Listen to me. Do not ignore health issues. It's you and me here. And I'll tell you, as somebody who ignored my own health issues for years, it led to a physical collapse. It led me to being in bed for 6 years. I was in bed for 6 years, 80 to 90% of the time. I hesitate to say 100 because I did get up and take baths and things like that. But I was out of bed very rarely, and I was in the sun as little as possible because the sun made me sick because I was in a horrible lupus flare and I collapsed. And I ignored the signs from my body. I just kept going. I disassociated from my pain. And it's time to hold space for your emotions. It's time to not oppress your emotions of lack, of sorrow, of pain. Of why are you hungry? And I'm not just talking about for food. Why are you always hungry for more stuff, more things, more experiences? Why, when you eat the piece of cake, you can't really connect to the beautiful flavor of it? Why, when you see a flower, you can't really see the beauty of it? You can't take it in. It's as if there is a film between you and the world. It's like you're not allowing yourself to experience the beauty of the world. It's almost like you're punishing yourself. You're sabotaging yourself because you don't feel worthy. And for a lot of you, this is from your childhood. And this childhood is connected to this past life childhood where there were serious levels of lack. And it feels like energetically, in some ways, you're revisiting that same pain so you can heal it. So you have to look at your family situation and why those things happen, and understand that the words that were said to you, the way you were treated, is not a reflection of your worth as a human being. It's a reflection of the fucked up energy of the people who said and did those things to you. Hurt people. It doesn't let them off the hook. It really doesn't. It's just acknowledging the fact that, like, in families, generational pain is much like a parasite and a virus that we spread to each other. And many times the only way to stop it is to break the connection for a while and get help. Okay? And sometimes the first way we can start healing is by taking care of the physical issues we're having. Our body issues. We hold space for our pain, for our discomfort, and say it's valid. It's so valid, I'm going to get my ass to a doctor, and we're going to find out. And if that doctor doesn't listen to me, I'm going to find another one that will. I'm going to keep going until a doctor responds to me because there's something wrong with me. It could be mental. It could be I've been depressed for 20 years, and I've never had anybody I've never gone to the doctor and said, hey, I'm depressed. I'm seriously depressed. I need some help. Or I have really bad insomnia, and I've had it for 15 years and I can't deal with it anymore. It's time for you to advocate for yourself. It's time for you to honor the voice of this hungry child. It's time for you to give them space. It's time for you to allow them to heal. And the first way you do that is a little bit of self-parenting, where you see a very clear need here. Some of you guys have very clear needs that need to be met. This is Archangel Michael coming in for y'all. There are very clear needs you need to have met. You know what they are, but there is a lack of acting upon them. Okay, and it's time for you to take care of yourself. You deserve love and care. Now, you may be in a situation where you don't have a lot of people around you who care about you. The point is that you care about you, okay? This is about your relationship with yourself, not everybody else. Fuck the world. This is about you taking care of you, you seeing your worth. That removes the film that barrier between you and the world, you and life. And you can start to really drink in life because you're allowing and holding space for the truth of you. And that is this pain, this lack, this poverty. And I'm not talking just about money. I'm talking about poverty of mind, poverty of heart, feeling hungry. Hunger can eat at your soul. Hunger for love, hunger for food, hunger for shelter, hunger for safety. It can absolutely eat at your soul. And it's time for you to honor that, okay? It's time for you to take care of you, all right? Let's get some more energy here. You have angelic energies around you with the winged messenger. Some of you guys have Archangel Michael around you, okay? And he is a big healing force that's coming in to help you heal this energy. The need to self-sabotage, the need to keep you from experiencing life and repeating these patterns that keep you where you are, all right? Because I feel like they want to bring in close relationships, friendships. They want to bring in meaningful, fulfilling work. They want to bring in a time of plenty and independence for you. But with the Five of Cups here, the traditional Five of Cups, you have 3 cups that have spilled over in front of you and 2 cups behind you. And then in the distance, there is like a little city. And the truth is that you have to choose to see the cups behind you or move ahead to the city. You have to stop staring at what you don't have. You have to stop hyperfixating on the things you don't have and see the choices and opportunities that you do have, okay? And those involve you acting and taking care of yourself, okay? You matter. You matter. Your pain is valid. The way you feel is valid, okay? Okay, we have the karmic trench. Yeah. Honestly, this is what you're digging yourself out of. I've been there. We all have. I don't like the term karma, but it does fit. And I feel like karma is just a course correction kind of thing. To get you on the path to where you get to this Queen of Coins energy. You get to this, 9 of Cups energy where you are independent and successful. You're able to take care of yourself and others. And I feel like it's real frustrating because I feel this energy of just going in a circle. Like you get to a point where you pause in this circle. And you should be doing something differently, but you keep going around and around. And it's time for you to stop. It's time for you to take a leap. There's a leap of faith that's going to be required of you, okay? We have the Ace of Wands here. This is a good leap. It's positive. It involves you taking care of yourself and honoring this hungry child within you, okay? All right, some of you guys might need some therapy. Go get it. There's no shame in getting help when you need it, okay? I've gotten help from a lot of people to get me through my situations, okay? It's very hard to heal this all by yourself. Get help. We have birth. Okay. And we have wishes fulfilled. Okay, so I feel like what's happening here is a rebirth situation. And I feel like there's a healing of this hungry child, this abused, hungry child within. And I feel ancestor energy, spirit guides, angelic energies, Michael coming around, Archangel Michael coming around to help you heal. This is like a garden, see, and these 2 children. And it's almost like your past life child and this child are connected. And together they go forward into this sun energy. Where is the sun? Into this positive energy, okay? Starting to hold space for the truth of self, holding space for healing, holding space for what they need, for body needs, vessel needs, mental, emotional needs. Some of you guys, we have social media fast is needed. Some of you guys need some peace. You need to slow down your mind. You guys, we have peace here. Some of you guys have kept yourself super busy and super distracted so that you don't have to focus on this stuff. Listen, you need to focus on this stuff. That's why you're self-sabotaging yourself by keeping yourself so busy. Get quiet and listen to your heart. Write down your thoughts. It's okay, because there's a rebirth coming for you. It's very positive, and there's a lot of energy coming. A lot of healing energy, a lot of positive energy. An end to drama and disagreements. There's peace coming into your life. There's success, all right? But, you're going to have to leap towards it. You have to want this to happen, okay? Because there's wishes fulfilled. And what I'm feeling is that some of you don't even know what wish you want fulfilled, okay? You don't know what that would even be right now. You can't even imagine that. And I have to say that when you lose touch with your big dreams, when you no longer are able to dream for yourself, and I've been here, that is a huge red flag. Okay, always hold on to your dreams. Always be hopeful. I don't care how old you are. Okay, the ability to dream really is a positive sign that you haven't lost hope in the world, that you still see positive possibilities for yourself. And it doesn't mean that, you're going to be a millionaire. Everybody, on TikTok, everybody's like, oh, I see riches coming to you. I see money and blah, blah, blah. It's not all about money. Yes, money is good. And in your case, I can see how money would be a focus, okay? And we need money to eat, a roof over our head, and food. And I feel very strongly with this independent queen, the queen of coins, the queen of pentacles, that your needs are going to be absolutely provided for, okay? For some of you guys, you need to start a business. You need to get on your career, whatever it is. You need to start making moves, okay? Because we have a 9 of, where did it go? We had a 9 of cups here. 9 of Cups is like independent business or successful business person or success in your career and emotional fulfillment in your career. That is coming for you. That is part of this wishes fulfilled. Some of you guys are like, well, I don't know what that is, Amy. Well, that's part of your journey with the Fool here. That would be part of the unraveling of this wish fulfillment, the opening of the gift, revealing more of what you want as you heal this inner child, this hungry child. Instead of operating in survival mode, we start operating at higher levels, and we're able to dream again because we come to a place where we're stable. Stability is coming for you through this healing, okay? And I feel this energy here of like a lack of love, a lack of connecting with love in deep ways. And I feel like for you guys, that is coming, okay? But it's almost like in this reading, they don't really want to focus on that because you need to learn to love yourself more before you love another. Because the energies around you, especially these angels, they don't want you to focus on getting love from another. They want you to focus on being the source of your own love. That way you have healthy, fulfilling relationships. They want you to focus on having a healthy, fulfilling working situation so that you don't lean on outside energies to fulfill that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an internal work of finding the work or the business or whatever it is that fulfills you, because this inner child deserves the past one and the one now. They both deserve, you may be a Gemini. There's Gemini energy here. You may have Gemini in your chart somewhere. That's very important. But there's an energy, there's air energy here, but there's twinning energy in this reading. They both deserve to live a happy and fulfilled life that doesn't require such harsh movement. You can get to this place and be fulfilled and not have to be ruthless about it. And I feel like in this life, that's what you want to do. You want to be happy and fulfilled, but you don't want to be the bad guy. You don't want to be the villain. You don't want to have to take people out to do it. And it's almost like you don't want to go into the pain because on some level, you're afraid that it will trigger you to act in ruthless ways. You may be afraid of your anger. You may be very triggered by your anger because you know that on some level, subconsciously, the anger can trigger you to be ruthless. can trigger you to be like, I'm never going to feel this again. So I'm going to find someone to fulfill all these needs I have. And the universe, the angels want you to look within for healing. They want you to learn how to fulfill your own needs and take care of yourself so that you can have fulfilling relationships with others and have fulfilling experiences in your life and be this independent queen that takes care of themselves and has more than enough, and is successful. There's success here. There's a wish fulfillment here for you, okay? Okay, group 2, that's what I got for you. I hope this resonated. If it did, please leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd love to have you as a member of my tribe. And if you'd like to see more readings like this one, give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you beautiful, magical creatures next time. Bye, guys. Hey, group 3, all of you that selected Oogie Boogie, this is going to be your reading all about your villainous past life and what gifts, lessons, and all that good stuff that you bring to this lifetime from that lifetime. Keep in mind, this is a general reading. It's a general session, so just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I will be pulling more cards as I need to for clarity, and I'll probably be pulling from the Akashic Tarot to get more in-depth energy reading. So let's get into it and see what came out for you. We have Angel of Song. Tell me about this villainous past life. We have Angel. We have Exorcist. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. That's intense. That is intense and unexpected. Okay. We have Unrequited Love. Oh my. We have Love Life. Okay. We have Forgiveness. Okay. We have Learning or Travel. We have Imprisonment or Slavery. Okay, this feels bad. This feels real bad. Okay, this feels very oppressive. We also have Time to Calm the Chaos, Clusterfuck of Fairies. Okay, you guys, let's get into the tarot as well. We have the 9 of Coins, which is the 9 of Pentacles. We have the 4 of Swords. We have Temperance. We have the Devil and the Exorcist here. Okay, interesting. And we have the 2 of Coins. All right, I'm just going to say this is what I feel. Okay, this feels like a past life where someone was in the position of power. Okay, during the time of where, you know, we had witch trials, we had oppression of people's religious views. We had oppression of feminine energies. People were being, tormented and tortured for heresies. And I feel like you were the feminine energy and there was a masculine energy. You can reverse it if you like, but this is the energy I'm getting. I feel like there was someone who was in love with the feminine energy. Okay, I use the term love loosely because I feel like this person didn't really know what love was or is. And I'm picking up on this energy with Scar on the 4 of Swords here. They were just very fixated and focused and almost bewitched by the feminine energy. Okay, it was like they heard music when they saw you. Okay, and there's something about this where for some of you guys, first of all, I feel like the feminine energy did not feel the same. Okay, I feel like for a lot of you, you wanted to stay as far away from this person as possible because of their position. I feel like this person had a position of power. They were either powerful in a church or powerful in a political position. And I feel like you felt pressure to be with this person in a sexual way. And I feel like because of your spirit, because of your, I'm hearing like rebellious spirit, wild spirit. I feel like you already kind of lived on the edge of what was acceptable back then. And I'm seeing different areas of the world now. I'm seeing like North America. I'm seeing like the colonies. I'm seeing England. I'm seeing Spain. I'm seeing Italy as well. I'm also seeing the word Spanish Inquisition just lighting up. And I feel like you were a healer, but I'm also feeling this energy of like you also being a little bit too independent. Now, for some of you, you were a sister in a family that was well represented, but you had not married. I feel like you may have been an oldest sister and the younger ones had married, but you had not. And it's almost like you chose not to because you didn't want to be oppressed by male energy. And here comes this person. So just take what resonates. There's different energies presenting here. And I feel like this person felt very rebuffed. And one way or another, they were going to have you. And I feel like for some of you, you were outright accused of witchcraft, okay, or being possessed by the devil or casting spells on people. For others, they found other social norms that you broke. Why weren't you married? That was suspicious at the time. Why wasn't this woman married? What about her? There was also this person also, for some of you, made claims that you were an adulterous woman. There's all kinds of things here. And some of them are very creative and just completely asinine. But I feel like you were placed in prison. You were imprisoned, and many of you were tortured. I don't feel like you were a witch. I feel like you were a healer. I think that you just knew a thing or two about how to heal people, and I feel like it was passed down in your family through the women. And for the most part, it wasn't a big deal. It was something very minor. I don't feel like you were the town, midwife. I think you just knew a thing or two and it got blown out of proportion. And before you know it, you were a witch. Now, for some of you, it was more like she's possessed of the devil, because for some of you, I feel like there was some kind of fight or disagreement here with the devil. Something became unbalanced and they were like, look at the way she speaks, because I feel like you may be well educated and that was unusual. Maybe you could read and they didn't like that. It just depends on where you're at this time. But they had it in for you, okay? And I feel like this person with the traveling card, I feel like they brought in an exorcist or they brought in a priest. They brought in an outside tribunal to talk to you. And of course, these were always highly manipulative. They did body inspections, so I feel like you probably were messed with. A trigger warning, there may have been like some molestation in this lifetime. And I feel like the masculine energy was, I feel like the masculine energy just completely, wow, this is bad. This is real bad, you guys. This is real bad, okay? And there's no judgment here, okay? We've all been villains. And I feel like this person who was the villain here, I feel like they were hungry for love. And they were uncomfortable with their own desire. They felt shame about it, and they took it out on this person, okay? I'm feeling like the masculine energy could be you, all right? But it's important that you take this how it resonates for you. I know this is a villainous reading, but this is the energy that I'm getting, okay? And I stay true to what I get, all right? This feels really bad because I feel like you passed away, or the feminine energy, I keep saying you, but it's the feminine energy, passed away at the hands of a torturer. They passed away in the middle of torture. And I feel like it wasn't intentional. But the torturer, I want to say tormentor, went too far, and actually the masculine energy was really highly pissed off because he did not want the feminine energy dead. I feel like your energy right now is feminine. Okay, I think that's why I keep saying you. And I feel like in this lifetime, your energy was masculine. Okay. And I feel like there's this energy here of feeling bewitched by beauty, being bewitched by that which I cannot have, being in love with something that I cannot possess. And I will tell you, I feel this masculine energy in this lifetime was married. Okay, that's part of the problem. All right, their marriage was arranged and done because of money or resources or land. Okay, but the feminine energy was definitely in prison and was tormented and starved in prison. Okay, and it is as if the feminine energy paid for the sins of the masculine energy. I feel like in this life there is an energy of chaos about you. All right. You may have issues with addiction or issues with obsession or issues with being oppressed. And it's because, you've been the oppressor. So have I. We all have been villains. Okay. And now in this lifetime, you're understanding more clearly the ramifications of oppression, the generational ramifications of oppression, how oppressing this one person in that lifetime affected not just her, but her generations that followed, because she is the one that was made an example of in her family. And so it made the feminine energies fearful. It made the masculine energies in her family very suspicious. It brought out violent tendencies in them. And it caused a kind of chaotic force to kind of roll through this family line. And you may actually be feeling that in your own family, chaos. There may be some violent tendencies, self-destructive tendencies. You may have issues with mental health where you feel very depressed or you don't feel like yourself. Some of you had lifetimes where literally they said you were possessed. And this is a masculine energy saying a feminine energy is possessed. I keep talking to you like it's you because I feel you're feminine in this lifetime. You have feminine energy, heavy feminine energy. And this is a feminine energy they're saying is possessed. But I feel that you are the masculine energy in this lifetime, okay? And you're saying the feminine is possessed, standing in judgment. And the feminine energy begins to really act possessed. It's almost like if you're going to say I'm possessed and I'm going to die, I'm going to put on a fucking show for you. Maybe it will stop you from hurting me. And in fact, it didn't. It made it worse. I feel like there's guilt here. Some of you called out other people. Some of you made up tremendous stories that are alive today and are living in different books like the Malice Mulcahy, okay, The Witch's Hammer. I can't say it, the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about. The Witch's Hammer and other stories of confessions that supposable witches had. You weren't a witch. You weren't possessed. None of that stuff. But it was a crazy time. And I feel like there was a lot of pain here. You may have issues with pain in this lifetime. You may not handle pain well, or you may have a very high pain tolerance that actually doesn't work very well for you. It works against your health. And we have this issue of forgiveness here. And I feel like there's a need to forgive yourself, okay? We are all villains and heroes. We have been every different character in the story. That's part of the human experience, okay? And I feel like there's an issue here with love for my group 3. I don't feel like you guys have experienced like the depth of true love. If you have, you haven't been able to really walk into it. Some of you guys are in relationships where there is true love here. And you have felt it to a degree, but you haven't walked fully into it because you don't trust it. There's a level of your consciousness that still doesn't believe you're that lovable. Because you feel shame, you feel guilt, you feel bad. There's some kind of energy here that makes you feel unworthy or not holy, not angelic, not wholesome about it. And it could be from abuse earlier in this lifetime. There's also this fear of being enslaved by love, by being imprisoned by it, by being caged like a bird and not allowed to be free. And that may bring up issues of what is the word I'm looking for? Of emotional intimacy. You may have blocks to your emotional intimacy because of this. And the universe is wanting you to allow yourself to heal, to recover with the Four of Swords. There is recovery and balance with the Two of Coins, which is the Two of Pentacles coming in for you, okay? It's time to calm the chaos. It's time to allow healing to happen, okay? Now, forgiveness should never be forced. Self-forgiveness is a journey, okay? You have to first have some compassion for yourself. You have to understand your own struggle and the things you have been through, okay? A villain doesn't just become a villain. There's usually a history, okay? And I feel like the bad guy in this scenario, which I feel this feminine energy was once this bad guy, they got there by their own conditioning of family. Some of them spent life, in a, not a convent, but the other place, the place where the masculines go, like a school for boys that was ran by a religious institution. It was very strict. There was also a lot of abuse, a lot of physical abuse. I don't feel like the masculine got a lot of compassion. They didn't see compassion as a good thing. They saw it as weakness. They really leaned into intellect. Even though this seems like this is in the area of religious intolerance, I feel like the mind of this masculine is very logical. And there's a lack of connection with heart. And I feel like there was an entitlement with this energy. I also almost want to call him a prince. Like this prince-like energy. Like this person really felt that they were entitled to certain things just because of their status. And for a peasant or a lower person, and I don't feel necessarily that you were a peasant, it's just in this person's eyes. I'm kind of getting into their energy and explaining like how they perceived the world, and they perceived themselves as somewhat entitled and better than others, and therefore any kind of rejection would have been dealt with very severely. And like, how dare you reject me, right? And it's because they didn't understand this feminine's energy, that you were free, that the feminine energy was free to be. They wanted to be free to express. Many of you chose not to marry because you didn't want to be controlled by a masculine energy, even though socially it was very questionable to do that. You didn't mind that. But the masculine energy here did not feel the energy of forgiveness ever. They did not forgive people. They carried grudges, and they got revenge often, and they took revenge on you. The problem for them is that they mourned you the rest of their life privately. I feel like after your passing, which was on purpose but an accident at the same time. I mean, you can't torture somebody like this and not expect them to expire. That's asinine. But they also didn't really mean for you to pass either. In the back of their head, they were like, they're going to survive and we're going to be together. It's crazy thinking here. I feel like they mourned you, and every feminine I keep calling it you. This is a very strange kind of reading. Okay, so just take what resonates here. Okay, I feel like they mourned the feminine energy here for a very long time, and I feel like they got into opium. Specifically opium, and there was a love of whiskey here, a certain kind of rye whiskey, and they kind of got lost in that. They compared every other feminine energy to the feminine energy that passed. I do not think this person, I do believe they had a a marriage by paper, but I feel like they did not live with this person. I feel like they may have had children with this marriage person, but they weren't really around. It's like they had a different house, they lived separately, and it was socially okay for them to do that. I feel like they used the excuse of traveling for their investments or whatnot, and they just weren't around. And I feel like this person literally, in some way or form, their addiction destroyed them. I feel like a hardening of my liver. I feel like my liver gave out due to toxins. So cirrhosis of the liver for this masculine energy. So I feel like in this lifetime, I feel like you may be dealing with addictive energies. And it could be addictive that's not connected to alcoholism. It could be addicted to behaviors. It could be it could manifest as OCD behaviors as well. Just take what resonates here, okay? But there's definitely this energy of control of emotions. And there's a need here to forgive yourself for allowing or doing the things, the mistakes, the perceived mistakes or missteps that you have made. We are human. We make mistakes, okay? And you're going to mess up. You're going to hurt people. That's part of life, okay? You are not perfect. And that's okay. It's okay, all right? And to start facilitating some compassion for yourself and everything you've been through, all right? You deserve forgiveness of self. As you learn to forgive yourself, it's freeing to forgive yourself. It took me a long time because, none of us are perfect. I have toxic behavior. You have toxic behavior. It's just you and me here, and I've had to forgive myself for my own toxic behavior, my own bad decisions, my own perceived failures. And how I do that is I remember that a lot of those decisions I made them from a place of trauma. I made them from a place of pain. It wasn't the me I am today that made those decisions. It was the broken me that made those decisions. And in this life, it was that broken masculine energy that made these decisions. They were trying to find wholeness in another person, and that person rejected them. And it broke them, and it made them angry. It made them rage, and they lashed out. And the butterfly was crushed under the pressure. And the rest of their life, they mourned this, okay? Some of you guys may have issues with depression, you may have had a lot of death in your life. You may have seen a lot of people pass, right? So I feel like you guys need a time of peace. You need a time of, I feel like some of you guys just need to get silent. You need to find some silence, some peace, some stillness. Get out beside some water and just look at the water. Just connect with the water. Water can be very connecting for emotions. I feel like you guys may be a little removed from your emotions. I don't see a lot of water here on the table. And I feel like you guys just may be a little removed from your emotions. And if you're longing for that deep connection with another, where someone really knows your heart and you feel like you're really one with somebody, you are going to have to get into these emotions, the ones that you don't like, especially. You may have experienced a lot of unrequited love. What you think is love, right? Because you may not really know. You may be a little confused about attraction, about infatuation and true love. You may not have a lot of clarity on that because you may not have never really experienced it because you haven't learned to truly love and accept yourself. And that's the journey here. That's what the guides, ancestors, the universe wants you to focus on. Loving elementals. There you go. I feel like you have energies gathering about you that want to help you learn to love yourself, okay? They want to help you. I feel like whispers of love coming in. These are whispers from your super subconscious, your guides, your angelic energies, your ancestors coming through, okay? You've got to learn to love yourself before you can truly fall deeply in love with another. I'm feeling like you need to have a love affair with yourself. And I know that sounds crazy. I've told people before, you need to marry yourself. You need to commit to yourself. Once you commit to honoring yourself and being good to yourself, then you can open yourself up for another. And I think that's true. I think that you can't really attract that one person that you want to spend your life with until you commit to yourself, especially when you're damaged and you're broken and you have issues. There's definitely issues in this group. You definitely have gone through some heavy shit and you need to heal and recover. Some of you guys need to slow down. I see these eels and I'm feeling the infinity sign, okay? And I feel like there's just a lot of spiritual energy around you. I feel the presence of ancestors coming in, and they really want to help with whatever this repetitive pattern is in your family, in your life. They really want to help you break free, because some of you guys are literally imprisoned to some kind of thought process or behavior, okay? And you've done work, but you're not there yet. You haven't felt the freedom. You haven't felt, because I'm feeling this forgiveness as freedom. And forgiveness can't be forced. Okay, so it's a process. And I'm feeling like it's not so much forgiving abusers as much as it's forgiving yourself for mistakes you feel like you've made. And mistakes, we make mistakes to help us learn and grow as human beings. You know, if we always made the best decisions, we would never change. We would stay the same person. And that's not really what life's about. Life is about growth and change and revolution of self. And everybody has kind of different focuses for each lifetime. And I feel like this lifetime for you is about you getting liberated and free to truly love another and to receive love in return. This unrequited love is coming forward for you to experience the depth of romantic love. Now, some people are going to be like, Amy, I don't want to talk about romantic love. Listen, I get it. But I want you to, for 1 minute, just think about, why am I so turned off by the idea of romantic love? Why do when people mention it, I'm immediately like, no? There's something there. There's something there. Listen, I've been there. I was like, I do not want another person in my life. Okay? I do not trust my decisions in this category. Okay? I get it. But for many of us, in order for us to get to that fulfillment, we need to experience being close to somebody that we can trust. And it's a struggle, you know, it's difficult. It's a healing process. But the universe, for many of you, wants to bring in a specific person to help you with this. But first, you got to heal up some. You got to widen your view. You got to expand your vision to allow people to get close to you. You've got to know that you're worthy of knowing, that people are going to enjoy your company, that you are not the sum of your mistakes. Okay, that's not who you are. You are not defined by your failures, okay? We all make mistakes, all right? Okay, we have Archangel Raphael. Okay, he showed up in another group. We have balance. Balance is coming for you. And birth. Birth came through for group 2, I believe. So I feel like you're working on kind of like a phoenixing event. Okay, so right now you're burning shit away. Okay, this is the painful part of rebirth. Okay, it's where you see all the bullshit in your life. You see your toxicity. You look at your failures. You poke around in the dark at yourself. You get real uncomfortable with the truth of you. And sometimes you get stuck there a little bit because, you know, we're used to feeling bad about ourselves, especially when we grow up around trauma and negativity and addiction and abuse and cycles of abuse. And then we have this from a past life come forward where we've actually been the abuser, okay? And so our souls are trying to balance out this energy and bring forth this energy of compassion for self, compassion for the experience of being human, of being the hurter and the hurtee, and understand that hurt people, okay? It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it okay to hurt other people. It just allows us an avenue of understanding. Okay, and I feel like that's where we're going. Reducing things that no longer serve us to ashes. Okay, and when we reduce it to ashes, it can hurt. There's no contact, there's loss of people, places, and things, there's loss of certain ideas of self, but understand with that loss comes birth of something new, rises from the ashes. It's where you self-immolate, you self-ignite into fire, okay? It takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of intention to do the self-igniting energy, okay? But you have it. You have this energy. You can absolutely do this, okay? It takes time. It takes patience. It takes holding compassion for yourself. You know what? You may be something of a villain in this life, right? We all play the villain, the heroine, and the victim in our lives at some points, okay? And you have to understand that. You know, we can't all be the good guy all the time in every lifetime. You know, so you've made some mistakes. We all do. You need to forgive yourself for being human. Understand it's part of the human condition. We have the treasure. Okay, so that's what we're manifesting, the muse and Archangel Michael. You have a couple of angels here that are trying to help you, okay? The muse, I feel like you're moving towards a time where you're going to be inspired. Inspiration can help with that fire, getting that fire going. It's like you reduce yourself to ashes, and then you find the hope, the light within you. That's what sets you aflame, is that internal light that you have. It's not outside you, it's within you. It's that passion that you have. It's that dream. It's that goal. It's the thing that makes you want to keep going. And I feel these angels are going to help you find what that is. Find what it is that you can glean from these situations in this life and this past life and use them to set your life, your light on fire. And become consumed with passion, consumed with focus, consumed with fiery desire to take flight. Okay, so we catch on fire and then we begin to transform into the phoenix. And then we catch flight, okay? And we have Hilarion, okay? I feel like you guys are really being guided by ancestors, angels. You're very connected here. And I feel like the more you go through this process, this phoenixing process, the more connected to spirit you're going to get, the more aware you're going to become. I feel healer energy here. I feel like your experiences you've had, the good, the bad, the ugly, the past life, this life, the times you've been a villain, the times you've been the victim. And I feel like maybe that's what the confusing energy is I'm getting. I think on timelines you've been the villain of this scenario with the masculine, and I think you've been the victim in this scenario as well. So you've served both parts of this, and it's like in this lifetime it comes together, and you heal that aspect of self. You begin to see your worth as a human being. You begin to build compassion for self. When you build compassion for self, it's as if your heart chakra completely opens and you see and feel compassion for others because you understand we're all connected. And many of us have had these intense experiences in this lifetime and other lifetimes. And it's time for us to start to heal and heal others and share our experiences so that we can come together as a collective and move forward and understand how these things happen, how these horrible social situations happen where we're hurting one another as a group, as a social collective. We are preying on one another. We're victimizing one another for means of power and control because deep down we're hurt. we're not feeling fulfillment because we're trying to get fulfillment outside ourselves. The masculine energy in this scenario was very much trying to get fulfillment from the feminine energy because he could feel her magic. He could feel her wonder. He could feel her wildness, her divine feminine energy. And he wanted some of that. But he didn't have access to it because she was not willing to give it. She was not willing for it to be controlled by a masculine energy. And it feels very Lilith-like. It feels like someone who was resisting the control, resisting the patriarchy. And for that, she paid. And to be on both sides of that kind of fight, you understand how that works. You understand why they do what they do, the masculine, and you understand why the feminine does what they do. And in that, you have a unique perspective that can be used right now on the planet to help heal, help guide, and help communicate unity in a whole new way. You have a unique perspective to offer to many people. And just by you doing this work, you help. Sometimes we lead by example. We lead by healing ourselves. Many times I tag a lot of my different posts as healer, heal thyself. Because really, that's the most powerful work you'll ever do, is the healing of yourself. And I feel like that's what you're being called to do here today, is to heal yourself of this toxic pattern, of this past life energy, of this current life energy. And to do that, we really have to break down those boundaries within ourselves where we are constantly bullying ourselves and calling ourselves out for our past mistakes. There is a need here for you to build big old pools of emotion and compassion for self. It really is the pathway to compassion and powerful healing for others. All right? Okay, group 3, that's what I got for you. I hope this resonated. If it did, please leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd love to have you as a member of my tribe. And if you'd like to see more readings like this one, give me a thumbs up. And I will see you beautiful, magical creatures next time. Bye, guys.